video, we are going to be talking about the 80-20 rule, the 80-20 principle, also known as Pareto's principle. It's named after a guy. His name was Wilfredo, and he was an economist in Italy in the 1900s. He figured out at that time that 80% of the land mass in Italy was owned by 20% of the people. The same 80-20 rule, that's what we call the 80-20 rule. Now, the reason we are talking about this today, because the 80-20 rule is still valid and it still applies to us. For example, if you look at any commercial place or in a sales force, 20% of the people, the salespeople, are going to be creating 80% of the revenue. In our personal life, if you want to apply this, you will see that we, for example, our wardrobe, we use 20% of our wardrobe 80% of the time. So even our closet is full of clothes, we just use 20% of those most of the time. Same thing applies to our vocabulary. We use same language, same talk, same sentences again and again. 20% of our vocabulary is used 80% of the time. And why am I talking to you about this? Because in the personal growth industry, in the personal growth arena, the same rule also applies, because in your life 20% of the actions that you take is going to create 80% of the results. So you need to understand what are the 20% of the actions that you need to take. And in the personal growth industry, this is very interesting because 20% of the expert in the personal growth industry are making 80% of the revenue. And this is where I thought this might be worth bringing this up. So when I am talking about this, let's say, if how can I explain this in an easier way? If we were to look at financial way of looking at this, let me create this. So if this is from $0 to $50,000 per year, this is six-figure income, right? And this is a multi-six-figure. This is seven-figure income, eight-figure, and this is unlimited income. Okay. So now this people, the most of this market is created by 20% of the people are making 80% of the revenue. So this is how you come to understand what we are talking about when we are talking about the newbies or the people who are just starting out in the market. So these are actually the thresholds that you are crossing. Okay, so when we are going from 50,000 to six figures, that is our first breakthrough that we create, and then go from six figures to multi-six figure and to seven-figure income, we all have to go through this particular thresholds. And this is the thresholds that we are talking about, but most of the people are stuck in this. 80% of the people are financing this 20%. Now when you take the 20% people who are making the money, then you will see that only same rule applies, the 80-20. So in effect, 5% of the whole market is making this money here. The rest of them all fall into this category. So now you have to understand that 80-20 rule applies to you as well. And if you want to get into the higher bracket of income, if you want to create a breakthrough, then you have to understand how you have to get on the other side of it. And we'll talk about this in the next video as well.
Hi, my name is Dr. Hugh Gordon. He was extremely informative, very enlightened, and it hit home a lot of stuff he said.